Don't ask me to talk.
And welcome to another exciting edition of Don't Ask Me to Talk. I'm one of your podcast pals. I'm Eric Ryder.
Hey, I am the other one. I am Stacy Heller.
Yeah, welcome everybody. Thanks for tuning into the show, downloading the show, however you get the show. If you're, putting it directly into your veins, we're down with that as well. So, however you do you. I think I was listening to a little too much of a podcast about train spotting this week, so maybe my metaphors don't work for everything. But anyway, so happy to have everybody on board. And Stacy, you are with us, but you are actually back east this week. How you doing?
I am doing well. I am on the road again, folks. I am on like this loop that Pete and I have started doing where we fly into Philly. We visit with my mom, who's in Newtown, Pennsylvania. And then we steal her car for a week and head up. I guess it's not stealing if you have consent. So we borrow her car and we head up to Mystic, Connecticut to visit my in-laws. And then we will stop in New York to see our daughter Grace before we head back to see mom again and fly back home. So it's like this whole little loop. We were driving and we were talking about how the fact that we went from Pennsylvania into New Jersey and like, okay, going through New York now, and now we're in Connecticut. The fact that we did 4 states in our 4-hour car drive is so different than the West Coast.
Yeah, we have big states out here.
Yeah, they grow big out west.
That's right.
So it's been quite an adventure, I must say. Visiting with mom is always fun and infuriating. My mom's a character. When I was doing my podcast, Stacy Connects, which it's still hanging out there. So if you ever want more of me, so many people are going to unsubscribe.
And less of me.
Yes, but Eric is still
I think
there.
that's the real selling point.
I don't know. I think it could go either way. But very often, Joan, my mother, was a topic of conversation as a longtime listener, and she would call you just to chat with you and try to convert you to Catholicism. Which, it's fine. But anyway, it's great to see mom. She is still drinking her way through each evening, still loving God and how God is her side piece since my dad's dead, and forcing me to make cute ladybug rocks. That was my art project this time.
Forcing you?
I don't know. Well, you think I want to make a whole bunch of little tiny ladybug rocks?
I think you do.
I'd like some diversity.
That sounds like a craft right up your alley.
Okay, whatever. I'd like to have a little more creative autonomy. Thank you very much.
And by the way, ladybugs have really carved out a niche as being the only insect that people aren't creeped out by. People will let ladybugs crawl all over them because they're cute. They got those little red shells, but any other kind of stink bug, get the hell out away from me,
Right.
Praying mantis, you're going in a cup and getting flung out the window.
Totally.
Cockroach, don't even talk to me.
No, spider on a chair.
Right. Goodbye.
I mean, it's, which is why I love, did you ever
Butterflies
see...
may be the only other exception to the revulsion to insects rule.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Did you ever see, we always talk about our cultural blind spots. So did you see A Bug's Life?
No.
There's
Didn't
a
see
character.
ants either.
Okay. So there's a character in A Bug's Life that is a ladybug, and it's a guy, and he's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And he sounds like a hardened, like, gangster. That's his That's his whole personality. And it makes me chuckle to think like, oh yeah, ladybug, like if they have gender, like how do the male ladybugs feel about being a ladybug?
Right. They don't know. They don't care, but it is a funny gag.
Yeah, kind of. So that was really fun. I got to see all of my friends at my mom's. My mom lives in a continuing care residential place. And so she's got like the gang. They call themselves, well, my brother dubbed them the GLOP, the Glorious Ladies of Penswood. And then I headed, oh, wait. In the midst of all of this, didn't I talk last time about the cat scratch that I got?
You did, yeah.
Okay.
Your daughter's cat climbed your leg.
Yes. So went to urgent care because it became infected.
Oh, no. You got the cat scratch fever.
I got the cat scratch fever.
Somebody called Ted Nugent.
Right? So here's the thing. Got on the antibiotic, and that takes us to then 5 days into the 10. It still was not healing. It was this round area around the cut that was really red and kind of like hard. The other bruises from this little cat incident were healing nicely, but this was just this weird area. And anytime I would sit, it's like the scab would open and leak. Yeah, gross. It's like Dr. Pimple Popper on your leg. Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome for that graphic, everyone. So I had to go back to freaking urgent care, and they took me off the first antibiotic, and they have put me on a topical and an oral antibiotic now.
That's good. But anytime
so now I'm like, go ahead.
I was just going to say, anytime I hear mention of Dr. Pimple Popper, it reminds me of the episode of Seinfeld where Jerry is dating a dermatologist, and he can't get over the fact that she keeps talking about how she's saving people's lives. And he's like, what lives? She's a dermatologist. And she... Come on. And he finally confronts her about it, and he's like, you're talking about saving people's lives. I call you Dr. Pimple Popper MD. And then like somebody comes up and says, I just want to thank you so much for saving my life. And he's like, what are you talking about? And she's like, I had skin cancer and the doctor cured it. And he's like, oh, skin cancer.
Right.
I forgot about that.
Right. That's legit.
Yes. So anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a thing. That's like, I think there's doctors like, chiropractors where people are like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, but, yeah. So
it doesn't help that a lot of them are con artists.
Wow.
I mean, for real. I'm sure there's plenty of legitimate ones out there, but I don't know what it is about maybe the licensing or whatever, but there are, a lot of chiropractors making a lot of false claims about what they can and can't do.
Well,
yeah,
I'm not going to disagree. Although I am friends with a chiropractor.
And again, I'm sure he's legit. Like I said, it's just that they unfortunately have a good chunk of them that are a little bit suspect. So you got to be careful.
To make matters worse, in terms of trying to make the argument about being a doctor, Deanna, who is the chiropractor, the type that she does is network chiropractic. Mm-hmm. So it's not even necessarily hands-on, and people are so associated with going to the chiropractor and being like cracked, and she doesn't necessarily do that kind of stuff.
Wait, it's not hands-on? What, does she just email you a treatment?
No, sir. No, it's about spine alignment and like breathing through things and techniques and stuff to get you out of fight or flight.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she's more about heal thyself.
All right. Well, I can do that already.
Yeah, well,
What am I paying her for?
Because you don't know the techniques.
Oh, okay. So she's more like a
Yeah.
educator than a doctor, I guess.
A bit. She's a co-conspirator in your spinal health. How about that? Wow, I should do that as a tagline.
There you go.
That would work. Anyway, we're so off track, but it's honestly what we love to do.
That's right.
So back to the whole pimple popper thing and this cut. I went to urgent care. I got the topical. I got the new antibiotic. So we'll see how that goes. But the good news about this whole cat scratch infection thing is I haven't thought about my ankle.
Have you heard the good news about cat scratch fever?
There is some.
It's a distraction from your other ailments.
Exactly. I haven't thought about my ankle in like a week.
Right.
So that's the good news there. And then my other thing is we had to record a little later than we planned today because I was playing Mahjong with my mother-in-law and her two of her Mahjong pals. And
now this is one of those games that I'm a little bit fascinated by because it seems like it's exclusively played by old ladies. It's like bridge, Mahjong, and bingo. It's like if you are under the age of 50, you're not playing these games unless you're visiting grandma. Also, if you're a guy, very unlikely you're playing any of these games. Something about it exclusively speaks to old women.
Well, and also
kind of like
Asian
golf
culture
does to old men.
Well, yeah, I mean, yes.
You turn like 45 and they just issue you a bag of golf clubs.
It's kind of true. And a polo that's breathable.
Right. What is that?
I don't know. It's like it's a certain like card or club that you're in.
Yeah, I didn't get mine, by the way.
Well,
yeah.
I think it's like, you know how in Harry Potter you choose which house you're a part of? This is like, right. Are you part of the house of golf, part of the house
golf
of trains?
House. Mahjong house.
Exactly.
Bridge
Burning.
House. Bingo house.
You get it. So my mother-in-law had taught me how to play Mahjong. Oh, and by the way, the other groups is it's an Asian it comes from Asia. And so
I figured with a name like Mahjong.
Yeah. I believe it's Chinese. And then
sounds right.
Also, it's very common for Jewish old ladies to play it specifically.
Yeah. Something about that. It's like,
it's a thing.
Yeah. But there seems to be some kind of, I think that's a New York thing. It must have come out of New York. It seems like, you go have Chinese food on Christmas if you're if you're Jewish, and you play Mahjong. So somehow those two things got connected. Right. Yeah.
Right. So she had taught me how to play this, and it's kind of fun. It's a lot like, gin rummy, but you're given a specific card that you have to get from like the Mahjong, like Mecca. That's not it at all. That there's certain, like we'll call them mahjongs or patterns that you have to get, like gin rummy or rummy, where you're either doing it's 5 tiles that are the same, or it's a run of something or whatever. Anyway.
Gin rummy, that's another one of the old lady games.
I know. Hey, don't knock it till you try it.
I'm not knocking any of this. Let me be clear. I am pro hobby. We've said that on the show multiple times now. But I'm just saying the people that if there was an Olympics for just old ladies, it would not be
circles.
It would not be javelin throw. It would not be discus. It would be mahjong, bingo, bridge, and canasket or some things along those lines.
Well, that's because they would throw out their discus and have to go to the chiropractor.
Well, there you
go. Anyway, so today I thought I was just going to go watch because, I don't really know how to play. I've played a couple of times. Well, I arrived to watch, and there was a spot for me. And I was like, are you kidding me right now? I'm not ready to break this out. I'll tell you what, though. If you're learning a new game and you want to learn how to play and figure it out, play with old ladies. I freaking won the first game.
That's how they get you. The first one's free.
Well, first one's free, but
then they hustle you and take all your money.
Well, right. Luckily, they don't play for money in this group. Then I sort of won the second game, except in Mahjong, there's these hands that are called closed hands. It's too much to explain. But I played a closed hand, but I by mistake didn't follow one of the rules that makes it a closed hand. So they're like, all right, we'll give it to you, but like really you didn't win. But I was doing so well, and they're so good at teaching because they're a little bit slower. So they're patient and you can ask the questions and they'll give you all the info. And also they're hysterical between like older people, especially these are folks that are in their 80s, mid to late 80s into their 90s. And they really need like the detail to like double down on. That's Sherry. She used to live in fill in the blank. Her kids are, and they have all this detail because I think it helps them be like, okay, I remember things. I'm doing fine. And then the chitter chatter and the jokes among themselves and how they just tease each other about how old they are. Like one of the gals was like, if I get up too fast, I'm going to face plant into the table. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like, this is amazing. So, you know, if you're looking for something fun to do and you want to work on your skills so that when you eventually get old and want to get into the elderly Olympics, go play at a senior center.
You know, this is a good point. Maybe we should be start training now.
Yes. I'm ready.
Bingo and bridge so that, yeah, we can just, you know, clean house once we're of age.
Totally. I mean, I had so much fun and they're just hysterical. And
I'll brush up on my poker and my golf.
My father-in-law plays poker.
That's that. I was trying to think of what's the other guy thing for older guys, and it's poker, cigars, and golf. For ladies, it's the various card games, apparently.
And they're not really doing cigars because a lot of them are on oxygen.
Gin rummy's probably in there as well, but yeah.
Well, and also a lot of jigsaw puzzles.
Okay, yeah.
But they don't like doing the 1,000-piece ones, I learned. That's too big of a commitment. Who knows if they're going to last that long?
Right.
So anyway, I have had so much fun stepping into my future.
I think the next 1,000-piece puzzle I'm going to do is when I get an IKEA coffin. I'll get that all put together just in time. My Allen wrench. And then just load me in.
I don't know if a coffin will have enough pieces for you though. Maybe a 200-piece puzzle.
Yeah, it'll be plenty, no doubt.
So anyway, that is what's been going on with me. It has been obviously it's good to see your parents when you don't live close by. You're happy to put eyes on them, see how they're doing physically, mentally, emotionally, and all that. And also laughs for days. And, you know, just so fun to see them and their friends and how they interact. And I'll tell you what, if you live in a senior facility of any kind, it is like freaking high school. Like, who are the cool kids? Who's dating who? Like, oh, you know, like, where do you sit at dinner? That kind of thing. So, yeah. Anyway.
Very good.
But that's been my week. What about you?
Well, you know, I discovered another dead rat.
No way.
Yes.
Oh.
I have no idea how they're getting in there, but the crazy thing is, this guy, and I say guy, I don't know the gender really, but this is probably too gruesome for the pod. I may have to trim this down, but it was far more decayed than seemed humanly possible or rattenly possible. but it wasn't there like last time I checked, like a week ago. So this thing just like crawled towards the door and then died. And then have you ever seen that, like the stop motion footage of the fox that decays? It must have just like decayed like that, because this thing was gone when I found it, and it wasn't there the week before. So I have no idea how it.
Maybe somebody dragged it there, like, hey, you know what? It's stinking in here. Take this one out while you're there.
Yeah, maybe, but that would imply somebody else is down there. Which I hope not, because but when I look in there, I don't see any, and I'm talking about the crawl space. When I look in there, I definitely don't see any other activity, so I don't know.
Why did you go back down there? Because
it was a windy night, and I heard some like creaking and stuff, and I thought, oh no. Here we go. There may be rat activity. Well, it turns out it was just the wind blowing down into my chimney, kind of rattling things, because in the basement we've got a connection to the chimney there. But there was indeed rat activity, but it was deceased. So I got off the shop vac, got that out. And so
did you spray some more minty fresh?
I absolutely did, yeah. And maybe maybe the mint helps them decay. I have no idea. But
maybe.
The funny thing is, well, I don't know if it's funny, but the thing is, this time around, we did not smell it. So the mint helped, cover that as well. So hopefully there's no serial killers listening to this. Because we already gave them the tip with the cadaverine remover.
Yes.
So yeah, we're very clearly not a true crime podcast in the fact that we look back on true crime, but I'm really hoping we're also not a true crime inspiration podcast.
I know,
because it's only like a quarter of an inch to go from dead rat to that rat needs to be dead, and in the mafia sense. And so we do not endorse anything along those lines. So. Anyway.
Yeah, we're aiding and abetting inadvertently.
Yeah, hopefully not. But that's the excitement for my week. Of course, while this drops, I'm just back. We're recording a little bit ahead of time, as people know, because we're both
do you think
traveling.
You had a good time?
I can only speculate that I had a good time. While we're the day that we're recording this, I'm trying to put the finishing touches on all our accommodations being booked, but
You still haven't finished?
I have not finished, and I'm very nervous about. I booked a apartment in Paris that I think is great, but
ooh la la.
But after I booked it, it said check in after 11 p.m. and then it said if you're arriving after 9 p.m., be sure and let us know. Because if you don't show up and check in time, we'll cancel your reservation. And I'm like, wait a second. I got to check in after 11, but I got to notify them if I'm going to be there after 9 p.m. So I think there's a typo in there. But I emailed this place and said, hey, is it okay if I come around 10:30 and not 11? And they haven't got back to me. So I am kind of really nervous about this, showing up and then being like, well, you didn't show up at 11:30 or whatever.
Holy cow.
So, yeah. And so it looks like I'm going to have to make an international phone call, which, first of all, domestic phone calls make me nervous. But an international phone call with a language barrier is making me really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see. By this point, by the time this episode drops, it will have all been resolved in one way or another. But it could be me in prison for burning down a building in Paris. Yes, we'll find out.
I'm a little nervous for you because arriving after 11 p.m., great, you get to show up and find out that it's not even there, and now you've got to find a hotel at 11 o'clock at night.
Yep.
And the scammer conveniently is like, oh, let me tell you about an inn that I have.
Yeah.
Where I only have one room and you can pay double.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that. But
of course I hope it doesn't.
We will find out.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I hope that you hear from them. That's crazy.
Yeah, me too. It's been a few days since I emailed. So yeah, I don't know. But I'm hoping we can get this resolved beforehand.
Yeah, that would stink.
Yep.
So, well, you'll tell us all about what it is that you've done, but
Right.
I'm really excited.
I
I'm
am
excited to
too.
hear about these
Yeah,
travels.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to it. But of course, I'll get into it next week when I'm officially back, and then we record a fresh episode post trip. So
Yeah, that'll be awesome. Have you even worried about what you're taking, like clothing wise?
yes, yeah. The thing is that we planned it so that we were only bringing the carry-on bag, which for 2 weeks is not a lot of clothes. But I also booked places that had washing machines so that we could do our laundry along the way. So I think that's going to be really kind of a game changer for us because, last time, of course, we're lugging around big bags, with all this stuff. And so this way we're traveling lighter, still having clean clothes, which is nice.
Right.
I think that's going to be really good. So that's the plan, and we'll see how it works out. Of course, I may get back and be like, don't ever do this because there was no detergent or whatever, but we'll find out.
Well, and you can bring those cool little Tide things.
Tide Pods, yeah.
Not even the little slips that.
Well, I was going to say
tiny.
There's detergent sheets now that you can get. So that's what I'm planning on doing is bringing a couple of those. But I'm just thinking potentially something could go wrong with this plan. But fingers crossed, we'll be fine.
I mean, honestly, it's not like you're going to a foreign country. Oh, wait, what?
They have laundry
No,
mats.
but that's the thing. Yeah, they totally do. You'll be fine. You'll be fine, and you'll be so excited to tell us all the highlights and lowlights of your trip. You're going to have to take notes in your notes app so that you can remember, I got to tell this story.
Yeah, there's always stuff. There's always stuff that happens that it's like, wow, I did not expect this. So we'll find out.
I know what the topic is going to be for that week. It's on the Wheel of Topics. Tell us about your recent travel.
Okay, cool.
So there you go. All right. We probably have to take a break.
Yeah, we're overdue. We'll take the break. We'll come back. We've got some cultural blind spots to talk about. So
yeah, we do.
Everybody stay tuned to Don't Ask Me to Talk right here on your podcast app or on the radio. This is Eric Ryder reminding you to follow us on Facebook. We're at Don't Ask Me to Talk, and we're on Instagram, again, at Don't Ask Me to Talk. We'd love to hear from you, so check us out on social media and leave us a comment. Leave us a like. Remember, you can always email us directly at asking@don'taskmetotalk.com or leave us a voicemail or text at 475-999-2726. That's 475-999-2726. And we're back right here on Don't Ask Me to Talk. I'm one of your podcast pals. I'm Eric Ryder. And speaking of travels, we got Stacy, and she's remote today. Stacy, how are you?
I'm in a hotel room. It's the only place I could get some peace and quiet because when you're visiting family, they want to be in your ear and they're like, oh no, I'm being quiet. I'm like, you're not being quiet. So I stole off to the hotel room and I'm doing it here.
Well, very good. Very good. I'm glad you found the time. You broke away from your Mahjong game and are able to join us for this episode. And this is the part of the show where we talk about our cultural blind spots. If you're just catching us for the first time, this is a thing we've been doing where both Stacy and I have basically had our head in the sand for a lot of the big cultural media that everybody else seems to have seen. And I think finally I got sick of hearing, what? You haven't seen that? You haven't
seen Bug's Life?
Yeah, that's right. You haven't seen The Godfather? What? So I'm finally like checking some of these things off my list. There's plenty of stuff that I know I'm never going to watch. But there's a few things where I think like, oh, I don't know why I didn't actually watch that before, but I never did. Or there's some reason or another, like with The Godfather, it was all about, well, I want to see that on the big screen. Well,
yeah.
I never got the chance. So 30 years later or whatever, I'm me saying that. And The Godfather is like 52 years now, I think, old. And I never had the chance. So I just said, you know what? Gonna do it. TV's big enough now. Gotta do it. So starting to check some of these off the list. And I did another.
Good.
Yeah. And I did another one that I think is a big one this week. But before I tell you about it, let me ask you, Stacey, did you manage, because you're traveling, you're going to the ER, you're dealing with, all these things. Did you even manage to get a couple hours to check anything off your list?
Well, okay, here's the deal. There's a lot of HGTV that happens in waiting rooms. So no, not technically. However, I could talk about the box of vinyls that I was given from a friend that his mother gave him a whole bunch of records that he had from his growing up. And now I have this crazy box of vinyls that I'm like, oh, these are amazing.
Records.
And so,
we call them records.
Records. I'm trying to be hip, Eric.
Well,
so rude.
They're made of vinyl. You could call this vinyl, but you wouldn't say vinyls, plural. Vinyl itself, it would be the plural of vinyl.
Okay, records. I got a box of records, right?
There you go. Thank you.
And there's a whole bunch of old records. And so if we have time, I am certainly happy to share and sort of spark memories.
And I realized I just played this pedantic role a little bit here.
You mean mansplaining?
Yes. But is there anything more annoying than the person that says, about CD, back when you were buying CDs and you just say, I got a new record, and somebody's like, that's not a record, that's a compact disc, or a cassette, but their record is short for recording. So, of course, they're all records. So,
now
anyway,
we know.
Yes. So, I'm just saying. Vinyl is a correct term, but vinyls sounds weird. That's all.
Did you know that it's not Legos, it's Lego set?
I did.
Oh, all right. All right. Anyway, talk about your blind spot, because mine is kind of like a, hey, if we have time, I could talk about this, but I could also save it for next time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm interested in hearing about what records you got. But I actually decided to watch Rosemary's Baby for the first time.
I've never seen it.
I had never seen it either. But we're in the spooky season here. And so I thought, oh, this will be fun to watch a horror movie. And, and it's one of those ones I think I avoided because it came out in 1968. There was certainly a whole period of time in my life where I'm like, I'm not watching some dumb movie from the 60s, you know what I mean? Or anything before that. If it was made before I was born, it can't be any good, which is ridiculous, of course. But that's kind of the attitude you can sometimes have as a kid. And also, like, it was one of those ones where I feel like I heard about this on the playground at some point. It was just one of those ones that was talked about, and it was a scary movie, like The Shining or whatever, and where it was like, oh, that sounds unsettling,
I had no idea that this is a scary movie. All I knew about this movie is that Mia Farrow was in it, and she had a really short haircut.
Yeah, she gets a pixie cut at one point.
Yeah, I didn't know that this was a scary movie.
Well, that's the thing. It's meant to be a scary movie, but it really isn't scary. I'll spoil it now and say it's not scary, but
Is it
is
more like psychological.
It is, yeah, and it is unsettling. And basically, for folks that don't know the story, Mia Farrow and her husband, played by John Cassavetes, move into an apartment, and the apartment building has had lots of rumors around it about like how Satanists have lived there, and like 70 years back or something like that, a known Satanist was basically like descended upon and clubbed to death basically outside the building. So, their friends are saying, yeah, you don't want to move there. There's all kinds of like sketchy stories about it. But they're like, this is a great apartment. And I could see also why people would, put up with a little light Satanism for these apartments, because they're huge for New York size, and the
lighting is spectacular.
They're rent controlled. For that kind of property in today's New York, you would put up with a whole lot of stuff.
What's a little Satanism?
Right? What's a little human sacrifice here and there?
It's fine.
Yes. It's Mia Farrow and John Cassavetes, and they move in. They're like a newlyweds. And John Cassavetes' character, Guy Woodhouse, is a small-time actor. He's getting some roles as like a Yamaha motorcycle pitchman on TV, and he's doing plays and stuff. But he's really trying to, ascend to the next level of his career. And Mia Farrow, his wife, Rosemary, they're excited about this new apartment. But I gotta say, when they move into the apartment, or at least they're there before it gets renovated and stuff, and it's completely empty. And she's like, let's make love. And there's this really awkward scene where they get all naked and they're on like this dirty wood floor. And I'm just like, you can't bring in a futon, a cot, a blanket. This does not say, no wonder this baby's going to be the devil.
They're christening the new place, Eric.
They are, but come on, bring a quilt, anything. They're just on the dirty wood floor and rolling around. And, I don't know.
I love that you're so like.
It just seems so. That was the scariest part of the movie for me. There's going to be a loose nail. You're going to get tetanus.
Tetanus. Okay.
Anyway, so they've got these real nosy neighbors, the Cassavetes, and this was kind of an interesting thing with the names of these characters, because it's John Cassavetes starring in the movie, and you got their neighbors, the Cassavetes, played by Ruth Gordon and Cindy Blackmer. And his character, Cindy Blackmer's character, is named Roman Cassavetes. And this movie is directed by Roman Polanski. Yeah. So speaking of the last 2 weeks, we talked about watching movies from old creeps. It doesn't get more old creep than Polanski. Yeah. But that it was an interesting coincidence with the names, because, this is all straight out of this book, Rosemary's Baby. Mm-hmm. And apparently this movie is really faithful to the text of the book. It's one of the most direct from the book adaptions ever made, apparently.
Interesting. Yeah. And was this supposedly a true story? Because a lot of times these stories can be like, supposedly based on true circumstances.
Well, I'm sure it was inspired by real life, because these characters very much feel like, the kind of nosy neighbors that you could see.
Ruth Gordon, like, come on.
Yeah. And they're like super like, like, I brought you some chocolate mousse, it just like really.
You must be tired from making love on your floor.
Come over for dinner, And first the husband, John Cassavetes' character, is just like, oh man, let's not go over there. If we make friends with these people, we'll never hear the end of it. And then, but they're like, I already said yes. So they decide to go, but they're like, this will be a one-time thing. But then, like, almost immediately, he gets sucked in by their stories, and he becomes like a good friend of theirs. And then, like, their whole lives end up revolving around their nosy neighbors.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then they decide to have a baby, and basically the neighbors drug her. And then while she's out of it, she thinks her husband is having sex with her, but she's dreaming all this like satanic orgy happening at the same time. And so the thing about this movie is that it could go either way. This could be like her all in her head, basically. It could be it could be paranoia, it could be mental illness, could be any of these things. Or it could be you could just take it as a face value of these are Satanists next door. They, the devil came and got busy with her, and they're making an heir to Satan, basically.
Right.
And it's actually, the thing is, a lot of like the acting in this was like kind of like it's on the cusp of naturalistic acting that we see now and the old style of acting that you see in movies like Casablanca and stuff, where it's like a little bit more heightened and for the theater and this kind of thing. So for the first like 30 minutes of this movie, I'm like, I don't know about this. I don't know.
It's far-fetched. It's like a weird cadence.
Is this good? Because Mia Farrow's character is just so like wispy and just like, was anybody ever that wispy? I know that, times were different in the 60s, and the gender roles were different. But I got to say, I ended up getting sucked into it, and
just like the young man with the neighbors that are Satanists.
Well, there you go. Yeah,
you got taken in.
Yeah, and so this also could stand as a real metaphor for somebody that's pregnant or sick that doesn't have anybody that they feel like is on their side, and nobody's listening to them. And she gets like really sick in the movie, and like the neighbors, her pediatrician, also recommended by the neighbors, and her husband are all like, you're fine, it's all good. Meanwhile, she looks like a zombie basically, and she decides to have a party, and her friends come over, and they're like, look, if you're in pain, that is a warning sign that something is very wrong. You need to go to a different doctor. And she's like, oh, but I'm already going to the best doctor. He's been on TV and all this stuff. And they're like, oh, well, yeah, I know he's respected, but, you need to go to somebody else. He's either lying or something's wrong here. So there's multiple layers to this movie where it's either a straight up horror or it's a metaphor. It's ambiguous enough that you could take it a few different ways. So
Which is kind of good.
Yeah.
Like I like when movies do that, you're like, ooh, on different levels, there's meaning to this. Right.
Yeah. So very engaging, very enjoyable. I won't spoil any of it because I think
it.
No, because I think this is a perfect spooky season movie, especially for people that don't do horror movies generally. Because I think this is one that you specifically would enjoy quite a bit. Because it's not like there's very little blood. There's no jump scares. There's none of that.
I like a psychological thriller.
Yeah, it's exactly that. Yeah, so I think you would enjoy it. I think our listeners, if they haven't checked it out, would enjoy it. But I'll say this. I got so into it. I was
waiting for the but.
I got so into it that I also watched the prequel, which came out last year, called Apartment 7A. It's streaming on Paramount Plus, and it stars Julia Garner, and she plays their their tenant that they had before Mia Farrow's character moved in. And they show her in the movie, and spoiler, one big spoiler here, she jumps to her death. And basically splats on the sidewalk. So it's like her backstory, which is an interesting premise. And I gotta say, I enjoyed it. The acting was really good.
She's great.
Julia Garner is great.
Yes,
yeah.
She can kind of make anything work.
But the problem with it is that having a prequel with this story means that Rosemary's Baby is just gospel. It's not a metaphor. It's not, you can't take it multiple ways. It's like, this is just what happened. So you can choose to believe that is part of the story, or you can just ignore it altogether. But I had so much fun with Rosemary's Baby that I wanted to spend a little more time in that world. And so Apartment 7A, it's free to stream if you got an extra 90 minutes that you want to tag on to flesh out the world a little more. It's pretty fun.
Interesting. Okay.
And they do a great job casting new actors to play these roles, by the way.
Well, and for consistency, so it's the same time. So did Julia Garner's character live in the same apartment that Rosemary lived in? So they kept it in the same time period in the whole thing?
Yes. Yeah. Because in Rosemary's Baby, those characters overlap. So, and it's fairly early in the movie where she jumps to her death. Yeah. So it's like this, it's set in 65. So it's a prequel that overlaps with Rosemary's Baby. Kind of like Rogue One for Star Wars.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just before, but also slightly overlaps.
Love this. Okay. Yeah. I'm kind of excited to see this one.
Yeah. I think you'll enjoy it. Yeah.
And I mean, go ahead.
I was just going to say, watch the original. There is something to it. It's like, okay, Roman Polanski is an absolute creep. I don't think that at any point any way he's getting residuals or kudos or whatever, from this movie. If we watch it now, I think we're probably in the clear now. We're not endorsing him by any stretch.
It's like wearing your grandmother's fur. It's already dead.
Yeah, exactly. It's already made. It's out there. It's a big cultural touchstone. There's lots of stuff. Every image from this movie you will kind of recognize as being oh, that's where that comes from. Yeah. This is one of those things where it's people have been talking about this forever. But what's funny is the idea that she is giving birth to a child of Satan is something that was such a big trope in 70s movies. And this, I feel like this is what kind of spawned that whole trend, because
spawned.
Exactly.
Spawned.
And I was just thinking about this, how does my generation even exist? Because
our generation?
Yeah. Maybe you're a little bit older than me, but not by a lot, by just enough maybe that your parents wouldn't have been aware of all these horror movies from the 70s, or 68. That would have been just on the cusp. But in this movie, the idea is that she's given birth to Satan's spawn, like I said. And then there's the Omen, which is Damien, which is he's the son of the devil, apparently. There's the problem child playing evil. There's the bad seed. There's the visitor. There's a whole bunch of these movies where the children are, the spawn of Satan. And
it was
killing.
A whole huge thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. So how did anybody go, yeah, I should have some kids. This looks fun.
What could happen?
Right? What could go wrong?
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's so funny because, as I said, I had no idea that this was about Satan or was scary at all. All I ever associate is I knew about the pixie cut, and I know that she was married to Frank Sinatra at the time. and there's a picture of her and Frank Sinatra. It's a black and white picture, and she's in this little like white sheath dress, maybe for her wedding. And like, that's what I associate with that.
Apparently he
movie.
served her with divorce papers while she was making this movie because he thought it was disrespectful to religion or whatever.
Because he was such a good Catholic.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was just, but I think the thing is he didn't want, just like in the movie, the star doesn't want a wife that actually has any agency that can think for herself. Right. But that was, Frank Sinatra wanted, a stay-at-home wife that would do the cooking and cleaning or whatever. But of course, he also would like a fabulous, attractive young woman, 20 years his junior, that was also famous somehow, so that it could help bolster his stardom. But
of course, he wanted his star quotient to go up. Yeah. Well, and it's so interesting because she and he continued to have a relationship for years, and it's rumored that her son Rowan, right, is Frank's son, actually.
Right. Well, she was married to Woody Allen. That happened, but anyway.
Right, but still, another creep.
Not
we've got so many creeps between talented creeps: Woody Allen, Roman Polanski, and frankly, Frank Sinatra.
Yep.
Like, it's hard to like anybody anymore, Eric.
I get it.
Ugh. All right. Well, how are we doing on our time?
Well, we need to take a break so we can get to our top topic this week, which, can you remind us what our top topic is?
I can. It's, hey, when do you start decorating for the major holidays?
Oh, yeah. Good question. We're smack dab in the middle of spooky season now. And the holidays are just around the corner. Hard to believe already, but yeah, they are coming in fast and furious here soon. So,
and there's what the stores tell you versus the hardcore decorator folks versus other people. Like, everybody has a different take on this. The stores would like you to do it like starting in August, frankly.
Yeah.
It's too much, too soon. Anyway, all right, let's take a break.
We'll be right back with more Don't Ask Me to Talk.
Hey, I'm Stacey Heller. I'm one of your podcast pals, along with Eric Ryder from Don't Ask Me to Talk. Are you liking what you're listening to? Awesome. We would love if you would follow us on social media. We're on Facebook and Instagram as Don't Ask Me to Talk. We also are wherever you find your favorite podcast. You can follow us, subscribe, like, rate, whatever it is that you do. You can also email us. That's asking@don'taskmetotalk.com. And if you'd like, text or leave us a voicemail at 475-999-2726. Basically, we'd love to hear from you. Thanks for listening.
We're back.
That's right. That reminds me, I did watch Poltergeist a few years back. And that was another one that I had never seen growing up.
I haven't seen it.
But I saw all those commercials with we're back, or they're back, or they're here, from Poltergeist 1 and Poltergeist 2 with that kid. And then I finally watched Poltergeist, the first one anyway, and I was like, yeah, this is pretty good.
Yeah,
it's not as scary as I thought.
I haven't ever seen that one either. But again, that's the whole point of that last segment, is that those cultural blind spots that you're like, oh, that's where that's from.
Yeah. And that's another one that I think also would not be too scary for you, that you would enjoy, is the first Poltergeist. I haven't seen the second one. I can't state that one, but the first one's pretty fun.
All right. Well, maybe I'll check it out. Hey, by the way, if you're listening to Don't Ask Me to Talk, and we are your podcast pals. I am Stacey.
And I'm Eric.
There you go. Welcome back. Okay. It's technically like, this is the whole topic of the show, but it never works out like this.
That's why I call it the top topic, because it's we talk
fair.
about so much other stuff beforehand, but we always make time for our weekly topic, which the Wheel-O topic selects for us, and you very kindly come up with ahead of time and put it on the wheel so that it can randomly select something. And each week I like to find out what your inspo was for putting this on the wheel.
Well,
and by the way, if you are just joining us, the topic that we picked, or the wheel picked, was when do you start decorating for the holidays? I don't think we said that so far after we came back. So
no, we didn't.
No.
Okay. So there is a couple that's on social media. It's the Holderness family. I'm sure many of you have come across them, or maybe not. I don't know.
Never heard of them.
They do song parodies. They do just videos of stuff going on. And one of the things that they sort of parody or talk about or joke about is how soon the wife likes to get ready for fall, especially. And fall isn't a holiday, obviously, but it begets, as you say, spooky season, Halloween and Thanksgiving and that whole autumnal vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And how, quickly this stuff comes out. Like, can we put it out yet? Like, if we wait for actual first day of fall, that's so late. Like, we got to get this stuff out there. And
is it late?
Well, and
we'll get into it. Yeah.
That's the whole point, is that I had to laugh about this because I have a friend that's like this. And so I sent the video and she's like, it's never too soon to start decorating. And I was like, And so I thought, you know what? This is kind of an interesting thing. Like, there's seasonal decor, but then obviously like major holiday decor. And how soon do you start decorating for it? And as I said before the break, stores would like us to be, like basically in July, the back to school stuff is coming out. And by the time you're going back to school, you're getting the dregs of it. So don't be late getting it because it's already Halloween time.
And there is this phenomenon now of Summerween where they're putting up some like Halloween stuff in the middle of summer to kind of like see if people want to buy Halloween stuff in summer. I guess in the idea that they're already excited for Halloween coming up, but also I think some people want to put up Halloween stuff all year round, which is fun.
Become a thing.
Yeah. So there's Summerween, which is what I sing every time I see someone's got a skeleton up and it's August and it's like, okay, Summerween.
Yeah, I like that. That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
So first of all, I'll go first.
All right.
Here's the deal. I have found that now that the kids aren't in the house, I barely decorate for these, what I would consider to be lesser holidays. Like Halloween, I'll put out a few things and we get pumpkins and that kind of thing, but I don't go all out anymore because frankly, it's just me and Pete that's looking at this stuff. And I'm like, when I look at it, I'm like, it's more clutter and now I'm going to have to put this away.
Yeah, that's valid.
So, but back in the day, I probably started putting stuff up. Like it was a short window for me for Halloween specifically. Like it went up maybe October 1st and it was up for a month and then it came down. And then like Thanksgiving, we didn't really have fall or Thanksgiving decor. I did have a lovely wicker cornucopia that I would put some fruits and things coming out of.
Some gourds.
Yeah. And then typically the weekend after Thanksgiving, I would, since the family was all gathered and concentrated, I would have everyone help me get the holiday, we celebrate Christmas decor out. But I would like put it up slowly. And then now that the kids are not in the house anymore, we get a tree and we put lights on it. But we'll very often wait until the first night that the whole family is together to decorate the tree.
Yeah,
so that could be like December 22nd or 23rd.
Right.
And it's like, it's up and then it's down. So we're kind of, I don't know. I feel like I'm not insane about getting stuff up.
Yeah.
I know people that have their Christmas decor up even before Thanksgiving's happened.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's too fast for even indigestion to set in. Like the tryptophan has not worn off,
Right.
people.
No, I
So
mean,
anyway.
it basically, when it comes to the stores, Thanksgiving has been erased.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it,
yeah.
it goes straight from Halloween to Christmas overnight. And that overnight is, the October 31st to November 1st.
Yeah. Like pretty literally. So what about you? Are you like, do you decorate for the holidays? Does the girlfriend?
Yes. So if it's up to me, I don't bother with anything. But Christmas week, I'll put up a tree. And that's essentially all I want to do. But the girlfriend, she likes to decorate. So we're recording this in September. We've already got Halloween decorations up now because she put them up and was having a great time. But we are far from the first in our neighborhood. Everybody has their Halloween decorations up. We took a walk last night, and tons of houses have their decorations up, and they're like so big and elaborate now and expensive that I guess people are like, yeah, I want to get as much time out of this as I can. So you've got these giant skeletons and stuff, inflatable pirates and all kinds of stuff like on people's yards now. And I think they've been up for at least a week, maybe 2 weeks now. So I feel like a lot of people are just like full on into Halloween as soon as Labor Day is done. Which is wild to me. But I will say, a year or two ago, I bought after Halloween on clearance, I bought a welcome mat that's a Ouija board. And I just love how this looks. So we have left this up 365.
I mean,
when you come,
fair.
When you come out, it says goodbye. So it's like just copy, it's like a Ouija board, which I think I don't believe in Ouija's having any special powers or anything, but I just like the look of it. We leave that up all the time and it's fun. So technically we're, decorating for Halloween all year round. But yeah, again, it's so much hassle, and why? Who cares? I do a pumpkin. I usually end up carving it on Halloween, putting it out there. Yeah, it's fun. If I do it earlier, it rots away before Halloween, and there's nothing more depressing than seeing that moldy pumpkin cave in.
Yes.
Before Halloween even rolls around.
And we always used to get 4 pumpkins, one for each kid, and then the kids would draw basically on mischief night or the night before Halloween. The kids would draw faces on the pumpkins, and Pete would carve whatever they had drawn, and then they would take out all the stuff. We'd toast the pumpkin seeds, like we had a whole tradition.
Yeah.
Now the kids will send us a drawing, and for a few years we did this. We would expand it. So, they were away at college or wherever they were living, and we would do the same thing. But now Pete and I are like, like nobody's home. So, we'll get some pumpkins and that kind of thing. And actually one year we had the pumpkin, speaking of rotting, a pumpkin rotted in our front area. And so it had gotten so rotten that when I went to bring it to the yard waste bin, it fell into the area. So I just sort of kicked it into my front yard, and I was like, oh, well,
right.
Guess who had pumpkins the next year?
Yep.
Like it took over the whole front yard. It was really cool. And like lightning doesn't strike twice, but it was the most fun. We got 6 small pumpkins out of it.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've tried this multiple times and it never worked for me. So you got lucky in that respect.
I did get lucky. Yeah. So anyway, I think that there are people that get really into it. My problem ultimately with decorating too early for things is I feel like then you get holiday fatigue. And by the time I get to spend the time doing the holiday or experiencing the holiday, especially with my adult children, I'm like so over it. And I'm like, it's just clutter. It's dusty. It's in the way. I'm just like, ugh, let's get rid of it.
Right?
Yeah. So, but I'm a little crabby.
Well, there you go. Dear crabby even.
Exactly.
But, I think do whatever feels right to you, whatever you got the energy for. If you love Christmas and want to have all of November with Christmas decorations,
you do you, boo.
You do you. Same thing with Halloween. If you want a 365, have a giant skeleton up in your yard, go for it. Have fun.
If your HOA lets you, even if your HOA doesn't let you.
Yes. I mean, I can't help but judge a little when it's February and I'm walking down the street and seeing like Christmas wreaths still on people's doors. But so what? People are going to judge no matter what. You know what I mean? You can't do anything without people judging you a little. So you got to just, stand by your convictions of
100%.
Being a Christmas 365 person.
I mean, it's red at Valentine's Day, at least.
Yeah, but
right?
Green with lights on it does not say Valentine's.
No, it doesn't. But I'm trying. Yeah, it is a little. I mean, if you change the lights, right? The color of the lights, maybe throughout the seasons, like, oh, it's Easter. Let's put up pink lights or something. But again, it's so much work. Clearly, I'm getting old. Like,
I'm with you. But even when I was young, I was just like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
I can't bother with this.
I wonder if there could be some kind of research done. Not that we need to spend our research dollars on this, but how many early decorators overlap with Disney adults?
Right. Oh, I'm sure. Lots of them. Yeah. Yeah, it's whimsical. It's fun. It's another thing that it's a hobby, essentially.
Totally.
Yeah.
There's no disrespect or judgment there.
Right.
Like, that's a level of enthusiasm and, like, playfulness that I just don't have.
I just can't muster it. And maybe if I had kids, that would be a tipping thing. Because if you've got somebody that is actually wowed by this stuff, then that's a whole lot of inspiration to take it to the next level.
Yeah.
If you don't, I mean, Gertie just doesn't care. I did buy her a Halloween costume, though, this week, and she looks so cute. And she is a little jack-o'-lantern pumpkin, and the costume has a little hoodie with a green hood on it that has little sprouts coming out of it, and it's got the jack-o'-lantern face on the back, and she, it's so cute. And
I'm going to need a picture of that.
I'm excited to walk her around for 2 weeks before and after Halloween wearing this
That's
outfit.
So cute.
And she put it on willingly and was not distressed by it. So
I bet that Gertie looks gorgeous.
I see what you did there.
All right. Well, hey, listener, curious what your thoughts are. Are you a early adopter? Are you I can't even bother with this? Somewhere in between? What's your deal? What do you do? We'd love to hear. You can let us know one of 2 ways. You can actually call and leave a voicemail. We'd love to hear from you. The number to do that is 475-999-2726. Or tell them what they could do.
Email us asking@don'taskmetotalk.com.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. Now we got to find out what we're talking about next week on the big show.
All right. Well, wait, but is next week when we're going to hear about your trip? Well, let's pick a topic today. Let's just say.
impulse purchase.
Oh, okay. What's the best or like most random impulse purchase that you've ever made?
Have I made one?
Well, and there's that. So if you've made one or a couple, what are they and what's like the most random things?
Yeah, we're going to be nearing Halloween as we talk about this too. So maybe a Halloween costume or decoration would be one of those things. We'll find out when we do the show after I'm back from my big European vacation and you're back from your Americana road trip. And and I think before you head off for another big adventure. So
I know.
Yeah.
World traveler.
Exciting stuff happening. So I hope you'll join us on the next edition of Don't Ask Me to Talk. Have a wonderful week. Thanks for listening. We love you.
Later, Gators.
Talk.